Everybody's stuck out on the 10, evidently. Haven't arrived yet at Dodger Stadium. There's Clint Hurdle, his club off to a nice 4-3 start. And here is his lineup to face Brett Tomko tonight. Willie Taveras again will lead things off. He had a couple of hits yesterday and scored a run, single and a double. First extra base hit on the season for Taveras. Came within a couple of inches of hitting one out yesterday. Matsui in the 2-hole. Atkins hit his first home run yesterday. Helton's back in the lineup. He'll be in the cleanup spot. Matt Holliday hit cleanup yesterday. Then Brad Hopp, Troy Tulowitzki, and Yorvit Torrealba with Lopez hitting ninth naturally. All to face Brett Tomko, who last year was 8-7 with a 4.5 ERA in a Dodger uniform. Some as a starter and many as a reliever last year. He won the battle with Mark Hendrickson and the well-thought-of kid Chad Billingsley for that number 5 spot coming out of spring training.
That's surprising. I think Billingsley or Hendrickson were the two guys they'd really like to give it to, but with the shortage in their bullpen and all of a sudden Billingsley doing the job that he has done out of the bullpen has only benefited the Dodgers. They felt for Tomko this is the place for him to be.
And it's top foul into the Dodger dugout. The Dodgers did make a move prior to the ball game. Remember, 2 players went down, Schmidt and Matt Kemp yesterday. Matt Kemp was placed on the 15-day disabled list, and Chin-Wei Sao, the former Rocky #1 prospect for several years, was activated in their bullpen. That pitch is just south of the knee line, so it's 1-2. And the good news for the Dodgers, Jason Schmidt just had a cramp, George. I watched him take BP before the ball game, talked to him briefly. He is fine, so it does not look like he'll miss a start.
You know, yesterday after he hit the bag, I mean, you see him start to stretch and pull back on that thing on the hamstring, trying to work it out of there. Couldn't get it out. That's good news for the Dodgers, obviously.
Tomko 3 straight out of the strike zone with the heater after getting ahead 0-2. Strike 3 on the outside corner.
We'll take a look at the scouting report on Brett Tomko tonight. Brought to you by the Giant Ford Lamp. 15 starts a year ago, an 8-7 record, an earned run average of 4.73. Back into the rotation. I don't think he's ever matched his stuff with the 1-loss record, even though 89 wins. He's been around a while. All of that was brought to you by the Giant Ford Land. Get the all-new 2007 Ford Edge crossover starting at $299 per month with no money down. Only at the Giant Ford Land.
Kaz Matsui fouls off the first pitch. Tomko's a 34-year-old. And his ERA at Dodger Stadium ranks among the best in baseball over the past decade, with pitchers throwing at least 100 innings at Dodger Stadium. Tomko has a 2.71 ERA at Chavez Ravine, tied with Giovanni Carrara, former Dodger, former Rocky. Guillermo Mota next at 2.78. And Herges and Maddox. Gagne's like 5th on the list. That kind of surprised me. Matsui's thrown out by Wilson Valdez. So Tomko has been very good here at Dodger Stadium, a notoriously good park for pitchers. Here are the gloves tonight for LA. Luis Gonzalez again in left field. Juan Pierre in center. Andre Ethier is in right field for Matt Kemp. They were going to split time anyhow. Betterman gets the start tonight at third. Valdez and Kent up the middle. Garcia Parra at first. And again, Russell Martin behind the plate. And strike 1 on Garrett Atkins. Garrett not only hit the home run yesterday, George, but later in the ball game, 2 situational at bats, runner at third base, less than 2 outs. He produced a fly ball each time. So he ended up driving in 3 with just 1 hit.
His average now at 250 with 3 RBIs to go along with that home run he hit yesterday. Ball got out of here in a hurry yesterday. It was a fastball on the inner half of the plate that rode up into the strike zone. Pulled down into that left field area into their bullpen. And Atkins, whenever you hit multiple home runs, this ball jams him a little bit. Garcia Parra will take care of it in the inning.
Well, Tomko very aggressive with the fastball in the first. He works a 1-2-3 inning. There's our old friend, JP, Juan Pierre. He'll lead things off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the first inning. 1 for 4 with a double in yesterday's ball game. our Southwest starting lineup for Grady Little's club. After Pierre comes Russell Martin, then Nomar. He was 0 for 4. In fact, Kenton Garcia-Parra in the middle of that lineup yesterday held to a collective 1 for 8. Luis Gonzalez in the 5-hole. Wilson Valdez will hit in front of Andre Ethier, and then Wilson Betterment, who's off to a very slow start with the bat. He's just 1 for 15. Take a look at the numbers on Rodrigo Lopez.
Yeah, brought to you by the Giant Fordland. You look at 29 starts a year ago, 9 and 18, 5.9 earned run average, 135 strikeouts. Really utilized the slider, I think, tonight. Don't forget about the inner half of the plate on the lefty or the righty, because his fastball has that explosiveness back again. All of that brought to you by the Giant Fordland. Get the all-new 2007 Ford Edge crossover starting at $299 per month with no money down. Only at the Giant Fordland.
1-0, and that's on the inside corner for a strike. Asked Bob Apodaca, George, before the ball game, the keys for Rodrigo Lopez, and he said, you know, it's really the same thing every time out. He's got to have good downward plane, use both sides of the plate, and use his cutter.
I think the big thing for him, he's not a big guy, number one. So when you set a downward plane, it's very important that he sets back on the backside of the leg long enough to let his arm get out of the glove and get on top to get to that plane. I think a year ago they tried to speed up his delivery too much. They tried to make too many changes. His way of pitching. Pierre, a little soft toss from Matsui over to help. You know, you start changing things around on a guy after that they've had so much success. They battle immediately. Leo Mazzoni, who had so much success in Atlanta, always believed outside corner. Well, that's not his style. His style is to bust you in. Work the outside, bust you in again, and you know, a change of styles did not work well with Lopez.
Threw a good sinker there, George.
Yeah, he did.
He worked that changeup also. Russell Martin steps up. Martin has never faced Rodrigo Lopez. And this ball is cracked up the middle for a base hit. One out, and Russell Martin, the native of Canada, grew up in the Montreal areas at first base. Rockies defensively will have Matt Holliday, Willie Taveras, and Brad Hopp in the outfield. Atkins, Tulowitzki, Matsui, and Helton. And Torrealba behind the plate. Todd has only missed 3 ball games in the month of April when he has not been placed on the disabled list. He's only been on the DL twice in his career, yesterday being one of those 3. Now, Garcia-Parra does have a long history with Rodrigo Lopez because they both played against each other in the the American League East for many years. Nomar with Boston and Lopez with Baltimore. And Nomar's a .370 hitter against Lopez with 2 home runs.
How much of the American League East did Lopez visit? How about 39 of 147 Major League starts?
Martin gets a big jump, and he's going to steal the base. You have to be aware of Martin when he's on base. I know he's a catcher, but he runs well, and he's a fit guy, George. He looks like a running back out there.
You know what? He's not the last catcher to run well here. Paul LaDuca ran very well also, now catching for the Mets. So this is starting a little trend here in the Dodger organization. A catcher with young legs that can move. Took advantage of his move, took advantage of not being able to handle the baseball as it came into the plate. A good pitch to throw on.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that's an ideal pitch to throw on for any catcher, and Yorvi just didn't make the transition glove to hand. He had a fastball up. 2 balls and a strike on Garcia-Parra. Right side ground ball past a diving Matsui, and this will score a run. Fourth RBI for Garcia-Parra, 1-0 Los Angeles.
Watch his hands on this ball. Slider away. I mean, everything is opened up on that front side. The bat angle dictates where the ball's going to go. And Matsui had shortened up to hold Martin on with a right-handed hitter up, and a guy that can handle the bat a little bit like Garcia-Parra just took advantage of that and poked it through the right side.
Jeff Kent, slow roller foul. Just the second time this year, and the first time since opening day, that the opposition has scored first against the Rockies. Jeff Kent is the only Dodger to hit in all 7 ball games this year for LA. And going back to the regular season last year, he hit in the final 5, and he hit in all 3 divisional playoff games. So if you add all that up, he's got a little 15-game hitting streak going.
Does that surprise you with Jeff Kent?
No. Nothing,
me either.
Nothing he does offensively surprises me.
No, he's a very good player.
This ball pulled toward Atkins. There's one on to first, double play. So a nice job of pitching there to get Kent to roll it over. 5-4-3 on the turn. In the inning, there was a hit by Martin, a stolen base, and an RBI single from Nomar. 1-0 LA. Speed of sports. Well, Kaz Matsui has tons of speed. Routine ground ball to first, bobbled, and Nomar can't make a play. And then Matsui takes off, stolen base, high throw. Next thing you know, he's at third base. A moment later, he would score. Panasonic Plasma, speed of sports. Todd Helton leading off against Brett Tomko. And he takes inside, ball 1. The first pitch was in there for a strike, so it's 1-1. On the outside corner for a strike. Helton, a .310 career hitter with 1 home run against Brett Tomko. Tomko had 5 scoreless appearances last year out of the bullpen against the Rockies. Struck out 6 over the 5 innings. There's the breaking pitch. Down in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And this ball, a towering fly ball down the right field line that is hooking foul. Todd got under it a little bit, got it in the middle of the bat. You can tell he's checking out.
You know, it's interesting.
Right below the label.
I asked Keith Schultz today, and I said, Keith, let me ask him, because guys break bats all the time. And I said, how many bats does Helton break a year? Yeah, I'm saying, all right, how many bats do you think he breaks a year? Well, I think that what it is if you took a guess, 600 bats, how many do you think he broke?
Probably 4 or 5. He doesn't. I mean, he gets a fat part of the bat on the ball.
Exactly. That's the point of the hand-eye coordination that he has. He averages maybe 8 a year.
That was a nasty changeup, and something more about how gifted Todd Helton is. That's only his 2nd swing and miss all year in 48 swings. He led baseball coming into tonight in that category. Nobody knows about that category, but they keep it. How many times a guy actually swings and makes no contact, doesn't foul it off, doesn't put it in play. Todd had 1 in 44 swings coming in, now 2 in 48.
Well, Tomko did a pretty good job there with the fastballs and then took the changeup away from him.
Second strikeout for Brett Tomko. He's got a fastball to hit at 93, fouled it back. Matt 4 for 17 with a home run against Tomko. Atkins owns a home run against Tomko, as does Hawk. Two and 2. And he gets Holiday on a fastball up and away. So Tomko has his good stuff, at least initially, in this baseball game. 3 punch outs out of 5 hitters he's faced, and Brad Hopp will come up. Well, Brett Tomko is a very gifted guy, and I'm not just talking about baseball. He's quite an artist, an accomplished artist. In fact, he did a charcoal rendering of the late, great Jackie Robinson. And on April 15th, this coming Sunday, all the fans that come to Dodger Stadium will receive a poster of that drawing that Brett Tomko did of Jackie Robinson. It's Jackie Robinson Day throughout baseball. This 60-year anniversary of Robinson breaking the color barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Every member of the Dodgers will wear number 42 that day. And it was started by Ken Griffey Jr. 42 was retired. It was grandfathered through, and one player still wears 42 every day. That's Mariano Duncan, the great closer of the New York Yankees. Otherwise, it's retired in every ballpark. Ken Griffey Jr. asked Bud Selig if he could wear 42 on that one day, and Selig thought it was a wonderful idea, a wonderful way to pay tribute to Jackie Robinson. And now a number of players have come forward to ask. Troy Hawkins of the Rockies will wear 42 on Sunday. But every member of the Dodgers, because that is the club, of course, that he broke in with. Tomko, another 1-2-3 inning. He's got it going early for L.A. Dodgers have the only run of the ball game. 1-0, middle of 2. Go to the bottom of the second inning. There's Mariano Duncan. I meant Mariano Rivera a moment ago, but I'm used to saying, yeah, Mariano Duncan, the first base coach of the Dodgers. But Mariano Rivera, the only player still to wear 42 every day in the big leagues. And the changeup is down low to Luis Gonzalez.
I don't know there's that many more Marianos around other than Duncan and Rivera.
I'm trying to think.
Not many, if any.
Just off the plate, ball 2. This umpiring crew didn't do their normal rotation after yesterday, George. Ron Copa is behind the plate tonight. Paul Emmel is at first base. Paul was behind the plate yesterday. Ground ball toward Todd Helton. He gets help from Rodrigo.
Where'd Dale Scott go?
Dale is at second base, and Chris Giccioni is at third base.
Now batting shortstop, number 13. Wilson Valdez.
No, that's not right.
That's Paul Scott behind the plate. That's not Paul Scott.
Dale Scott.
Or Dale Scott. Dale Scott is behind the plate.
Oh, so okay, so
everything is fine. They did the same rotation. Well, Dale Scott is back there.
They messed it up on the sheet that they handed out tonight at Dodger Stadium in the press box.
Chris is at first base from Salida, Colorado. Yeah. So everything's back in place the way it should be.
So forget everything I just said.
Yeah, Dale Scott's behind it because he called balls and strikes for me, and he called them the same way 48 years ago when I was pitching.
It's been that long now, hasn't it? Slider for a strike to Wilson Valdez.
This mound, because of its height, and I've talked a lot about it, this should be a fairly relatively easy play. You can have a really good breaking ball on this mound because it's got great slope and it allows you to get that tilt, man. And if you get out front on this thing and you get the release point early in a ball game, you can really utilize the slider and you can utilize the sinker because of the slope.
One of your favorite parks to work at, George?
Yeah, it was. And I tell you why, because the ball didn't go anywhere. And the only thing is that the infield was horrible. Now it's one of the best ones in baseball. It used to be horrible, but the mound is always the same. The mound was outstanding. The only thing, Drew, I'll tell you this as a pitcher in a perspective, and I think you could probably relate to this in some areas too as a hitter, but as a pitcher, when you look inside in the old ballpark before they added all the new yellow seats and stuff down the side, everybody looked like they were a mile away. The hitter, the catcher, because of your depth perception, there was so much distance to the backstop. Then you come into places like Coors Field and get on the mound, everybody looks like they're right on top of you because of that short step behind. And San Diego, same thing. Pittsburgh, same thing. Wrigley Field, everybody, the hitter and the catcher look really, they're not. I mean, they're 66 inches, but it just looks a lot closer.
1-1 on Andre Ethier. And this is cued toward third. Atkins takes his time, and a very good inning. 3 weak ground balls. And Rodrigo Lopez is through the second. We go to the third, 1-0 LA. It says Thursday night at 6:30 and 9:30. Troy Tulowitzki will lead things off for the Rockies in the third. And he just missed that, George. He got a fastball in the happy zone, and he got the fat part of the bat on it, but was underneath.
Well, a lot of times, and what National League pitchers are going to do with Tulowitzki is because he's so aggressive, they're going to try to ride a little bit of a fastball up. That ball, belt high, though, out over the plate where you get pretty good extension on it. And I think he just got a little quick, shoulders dipped on that backside a little bit. See the angle of the bat coming through. Just got under it. Deep fly ball, Pierre able to catch it.
Yorvi Torrealba making his third start behind the plate tonight. 0 for 4 on Sunday afternoon. He went 3 for 5 against Arizona on Wednesday in his other start. So 3 for 9 altogether. And the quick strike at 91. Tomko had a good second half last year out of the bullpen. An ERA of 3.64 with a 2-1 record after the All-Star break. And when he's missed tonight, he has not missed by much.
He really hadn't. He keeps his body under control. Everything's short turn and step and throw type situation. I mean, it looks an awful lot like Derek Lowe even. He really stays on playing well. You don't see him go back and visit the same location either. I mean, that one pitch in, one pitch out.
2-2 on Torrealba with Lopez on deck. And a hard changeup. I say hard because he threw it around 82, 83 miles an hour. Good downward movement.
And it is. Watch the extension out front. You see that throwing hand come all the way around the side of the body. Really completed that pitch extremely well, and the results what you wanted.
Rodrigo Lopez 1 for 22 in his career with the bat. So he'll take his shot against Brett Tomko. This season, Cardell Homes is sponsoring Home Runs for Hunger. Each time a Rocky hits a home run, Cardell Homes will donate $100 to the food bank of the Rockies. To learn more about Home Runs for Hunger, to pledge your support, go to cardellhomes.com. Here's a strike. Click on the Home Runs for Hunger icon. Cardell spelled C-A-R-D-E-L. And Rodrigo Lopez is retired. Russell Martin will complete the play at first. Well, 9 up, 9 set down for Brett Tomko. 1-0 Dodgers. There is Jeff Francis on the left. Dodgers leading the Rockies 1-0. And Mr. and Mrs. Francis to his left. You're saying, what's Jeff doing out of uniform? Jeff has decided to drop his appeal of his suspension. And the reason why is the Rockies have an off day Thursday. He threw yesterday. He'll start Monday at home for the Rockies, and it just pushes him back one day. Lopez will start in his normal spot, and the Rockies felt that it would work out best that way, would not throw off the rotation. So Jeff is serving a suspension, can't be in uniform.
Well, and by the way, if you're thinking, why didn't he start Sunday? Off days are not part of it.
And of course, going to your right, there's Tom Hanks, and I'm wondering if Jeff is going to slowly make his way over and either converse or maybe work an autograph. What's the matter with Tom tonight? He didn't bring any friends? .3-0 on Wilson Betterman. Former Atlanta Brave, came over in a trade for Danny Baez. And that's on the inside corner for a strike. Also going to Atlanta in that deal, Willie Ibar. Betterman was terrific last year for the Dodgers. Fouls this off. In fact, after that June 28th deal, the Dodgers went 32-13 in his 45 starts. And get this, in the first 14 ball games Betterman started for the Dodgers, they were 14-0.
Yeah, I'd like to give him all the credit.
You can't though, huh?
I just can't do it. I mean, there's some other guys on the field with him.
And Rodrigo Lopez walks the leadoff man, Wilson Betterman. Lopez in his first start did not walk a batter, so it's his initial walk of the '07 season. Rockies have been very good in that department, George. They've pounded the strike zone so far. Their starting pitching has been outstanding. As a staff, they have a .264 ERA, which is 5th in all of baseball. Strike one on Tomko.
To ensure the fact you might have a shot at a double play because Helton is such a good fielding first baseman, a catch and throw to the shortstop side. And what you may want to do is pick a couple of times at first base because Betterman got a pretty good lead that time in a jump.
Grady Little's getting all he wants and more from Brett Tomko, who has not thrown since spring training. Grady said in the paper today he hoped to get 4 or 5 out of him, but the way he went through the Rockies lineup in the first 3 innings, he may get a little more than he had hoped.
Throw it.
That was missed. Throw to first, out at first base. Kaz Matsui applies the tag with a little help from George Frazier.
Throw it. He's there. Throw it. Don't hesitate. Fire that sucker down there.
So Betterman is picked off by Torrealba.
I mean, you know, as he takes off, now look, Kaz come in behind him right here, and then Betterman's like, uh-oh, better hustle on back down there. And it's still short-hopped Kaz. He's able to pick and make the tag.
You know, it may have been that he was waiting for Helton to get out of the way. Strike 3 on the swing. Tomko went around. They checked with Chris Caccione at first.
See, watch him backhand pick right here off of the ground and then make the tag on the back side of it. He almost got the hand under that tag.
That's a huge play. I mean, think about it. You get the leadoff man on. You got the top of the order coming up if Tomko gets the sacrifice down. And instead there's 2 outs and nobody on.
Forgotten in that play too is Kaz's ability there. I mean, he's going to go recover first base because Helton's charging.
Oh, what a play by Todd Helton. Gorgeous play by Helton, just robbed Juan Pierre. That's how you win 3 Gold Gloves. A superb play by number 17. This looks like it's going to be a double, maybe a triple the way Pierre runs. Well, you only have 6 innings left because we almost forgot tonight's email the booth, George. Email your questions and comments live during the game. Go to foxsports.com and search Rockies Booth. What a great play by Todd Helton a moment ago. And that gets us to the top of the 4th inning. Rockies with their second look at Brett Tomko. He struck out 5 the first time through the lineup. Rockies didn't hit a ball hard. Tavares struck out looking on a 3-2 pitch beginning the ball game. Ground ball foul, and quickly it's 0-2.
Tomko's throwing 41 pitches now, and the fastball still ranging in the low 90s. 29 for strikes, only 12 balls thrown, 71%. That's outstanding.
Slowly hit to short. Can Willie beat it out? Nope. Very close, though. Valdez had a similar play yesterday that Willie beat.
Second baseman, Kazuo Matsui.
Now you're going to have to glove release, catch the ball, and really try to put something behind the throw on the run, and he does, and just gets Willie Taveras at first base. Just barely.
Kaz Matsui will step up. He hit a ball to Valdez his first time up. Check our first email of the night from Ryan in Pueblo, Colorado. In our opinion, who is the greatest Dodger of all time?
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, the two names right off the top of my head that I think about, Sandy Koufax, who for 5 years, George, may have been the best pitcher ever, though he retired at 30. And though Jackie Robinson was a tremendous player, there's players that were better. This ball in the air to center field, and the catch made by Pierre. What Jackie Robinson did in 1947 and how he handled himself and all that he had to endure, he has to be right near the top as one of the all-time, not only great Dodgers, but one of the all-timers, and that's why he's in the Hall of Fame, and that's why we'll honor him again on Sunday, the 60th anniversary of the breaking of the color line in baseball.
You know, the other guy I might throw in there, Don Drysdale, jumps out to me. There's been some very good players, don't get me wrong, that have played in a Dodger uniform in the last 21 years also here at Dodger Stadium, and their World Championship team in '81 and again in '88. They had great moments, but when it becomes careers, it's you know, you're talking about different things now. Sandy Koufax, up until about 5 years ago, he got upset with this organization for whatever reason and stopped going to spring training. And he used to throw batting practice early in the afternoon. And there was guys that didn't want to hit off of him because he'd put them in slumps. I mean, he could still throw, and it very good. Still had the high leg kick and the whole deal. I mean,
that gets Atkins, and the Rockies, the hard way, have their first base runner of the ball game with 2 outs in the 4th.
See, when you dive with that open stance, they want that ball up in the strike zone to try to induce a swing by Atkins. If they had success, teams have had success at times, not very often, at times, getting the ball up in the zone on Atkins. That ball just rode in on him with a late tail.
Ball 1 on Todd Helton. We'll check another email as Russell Martin goes out to visit with Brett Tomko. Jennifer in Highlands Ranch writes, do umpires work between leagues during a season, or do they stay in one league? Jennifer, a few years ago, they stopped having American League umpires and National League umpires. They are just Major League umpires. This crew may have an American League series starting in a couple of days.
And this crew may, with the older guy, Dale Scott behind the plate, was an American League umpire. So you know, you have some American League flavor, but they're all, as Drew said, under that same umbrella, all working together now and are monitored by Mike Port, former general manager at Texas, and worked as an assistant at Boston.
2-0 on Helton's inside, now 3-0. And this may be just a little inkling of what Grady Little was concerned about with Tomko, George, not having thrown in a game at least in a couple of weeks.
Well, you know as well as I do, it's very difficult to go down to the bullpen and throw a 65, 70 pitch bullpen. And what you have to have is simulated games in the afternoon. You have to be able to see live hitters to snap a breaking ball off or to throw the good sinker down and away. You have to have those type of situations for you. And they're hard to create in the bullpen, hard to create at 1 o'clock in the afternoon against the extra men of the Dodgers. Well, when the Rockies went to Colorado Springs, a majority of their bullpen and a starting pitcher, if I believe not mistaken, stayed in Arizona and threw. And they threw in a minor league game.
This ball in the air to center field and deep. Pierre going back, and in the middle of the track, he makes the catch. So Todd gave it a ride. Garrett Atkins, the first base runner, left at first base. 1-0 LA. Check the game summary on this one. Not much offensively. It's been well pitched by Lopez and Tomko, but Nomar Garciaparra found a hole on the right side to drive in Russell Martin, who had singled and stole second. You know, little things in the game, George. A step for Kaz Matsui. He gets to that baseball, and Martin doesn't score. And maybe Martin isn't even on second base if Yorvi Torrealba's able to hold on to that ball, because he got a good pitch to throw on when Martin took off. Maybe he's able to throw him out. A lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda, but
I understand that, but I also look at it from this standpoint too. Defensively, I think sometimes don't get caught up with trying to hold a runner on so much and giving up defense mobility. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, the Cavs was overplaying behind him with a right-handed hitter. You got a guy at the plate that can really handle the bat. Nomar Garciaparra. When he sees a hole open up out in front of him, he's going to do his best to get the ball through that hole, and that's exactly what he did. Yeah, Jim Leland was a big believer of it. Whitey Herzog also. I mean, guys that managed for a long time in the big leagues. Hold your defensive position. I'd rather get the out than to give up a run.
Tried to get Martin to fish at a slider. It's 1-2. Martin, Garciaparra, and Kent, 2, 3, and 4 in the Dodger lineup. And the high fastball taken the other way by Russell Martin. Man, he was good last year as a rookie, George, and he's picking up right where he left off. Affleck trivia question tonight. On April 10th, 1962, Dodger Stadium opened its doors. Who had the most home runs at Dodger Stadium in its first year? Crowd abuzz for Southern California native Nomar Garciaparra. Grew up in Whittier, California. Fastball, strike one at the knees at 88 miles an hour. Martin joined Johnny Roseboro and Benito Santiago, the only catchers with 10 or more home runs, 10 or more steals in a rookie season. That's a strike. 0-2. Nomar questioning the call by Dale Scott. And then he'll go through his ritual to get ready for the next pitch.
You know, I was watching Nomar, and I'm watching your base runner at first and Martin, and it was like he was looking and looking on that count to see if he was going to move, if he was going to take off. Really wasn't committed to the pitch of the swing, and Lopez able to get the strike.
Fouled off. Let's check another email. With first base and third base filled already, what do you see the team doing with top prospect Ian Stewart? This from Nick in Thornton, Colorado.
Well, I think personally Ian Stewart's got to have success.
Yeah, he's got to work his way to the big leagues.
You know, he had a little bit better than mediocre year last year in Tulsa. And, you know, he's in Colorado Springs right now, and unfortunately they've been snowed out, as you all know, and haven't been able to play. They played last night, and then they're playing tonight, hopefully. And I think that, you know, he's got to do some things to gain back that same momentum he had in his career when he was drafted.
This ball hangs up. It's ripped to the gap in left center field. Holiday trying to cut it off. Martin around third gets a stop sign. Into second with a double is Nomar Garciaparra. Second and third, nobody out, with Jeff Kent coming up. That was the first real mistake that Lopez has made in the ballgame, George. That was a cement mixer.
Well, and because of Nomar's wide stance and preparation with his hands, really staying back, it gives him an opportunity to explode on a ball and pull it when he needs to, and that's what it was. You can see that pitch belt high out of the reach of Tulowitzki. And at night, you get a little bit of dew or dampness out on this grass, and when it hits, boy, that thing's going to scoot. Holiday did a good job cutting that ball off, getting it back in, finding Tulowitzki the stronger arm to, if there was a play at the plate, they had a chance with Tulowitzki's arm.
Kent grounded into a double play his first time up. Two guys on base have all the hits for LA. Martin's 2 for 2, Garcia Parra's 2 for 2. The rest of the lineup 0 for 6. Ground ball to third. They hold the runner. Good job by Atkins. I mean, Martin danced off the bag. Garrett stared him down and fired a dart to Todd Helton. One out.
What you're taught to do as a base runner, come off the bag as far as the third baseman comes off. So when this ball's hit, his first reaction's freeze, and then as he sees him get off, now he's going to get off. See, now if the ball gets thrown away or it's a low throw, he can go. But it wasn't. It was a very good throw by Atkins, and you know, he just held the runner, froze him up, and there's really nowhere for Martin to go at all. I'd walk Gonzalez. I wouldn't even fool with it.
You know, you have Valdez behind him. I agree with you. Set up a chance for a double play, and the Rockies will do exactly that.
Well, you watch so many years, over the years, I should say, for Gonzalez in this situation, second and third and one out, to at least get one, if not two, and just don't let him do it to you. Because you're going to get into their bullpen. You're probably going to see Sao Chin Wei. They just called up the former Rocky today. You're going to probably, with the lead after 5. I don't know how long they let Tomko go. So you're going to get down into that bullpen. You're not going to see Hendrickson. He went 3 innings yesterday. Beimel pitched an inning yesterday, but they have Broxton, Billingsley, and Saito they're going to deal with too. So, I mean, it's...
But those are typically guys they go to later in the ball game.
7th, 8th, and 9th. I mean, Billingsley's your 7th inning guy. Broxton's your 8th inning guy, and Saito. So you'll get Sal probably in the 6th.
So now the bases are loaded for Wilson Valdez. See if Rodrigo Lopez can get himself a double play ground ball. Valdez hit a comebacker his first time up. Slider just off the plate, ball 1.
Pretty good pitch right there.
We thought so.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start, too. If you think he's going to be aggressive, you might get him on that front foot, contact made. He may end up hooking that thing, and you get a double play ball.
In the air, foul and out of play. Wilson Valdez has done a tremendous job offensively and defensively, filling in for Rafael Furcal. Furcal, by the way, started a rehab today with their A-ball club not too far from here. The Inland Empire 66ers, by the way, managed by Davey Collins. He should be ready to go at the end of the week. Valdez, there may not be room for this kid.
Probably won't be. You want him to play every day, but maybe one of those backup. There you go. Yep. A nice slider at 81 miles an hour. Bottom just dropped out of it on the outside part of the plate.
Now, George, is your thought different if you're Rodrigo Lopez ahead 1 and 2? Initially, he's thinking ground ball. Now he must be thinking punch it, I would assume.
He would have to be thinking punch it out, particularly after the swing that he just had on that slider.
Torrealba's going to go inside.
Now I think it's
back outside. Punch to right, shallow right. Here comes Hop. Martin is going to come halfway, and that's all. He will not test the arm of Brad Hop. Good pitch there to get the second out by Rodrigo Lopez. And now if he can get Ethier, he can work out of this mess.
Right fielder, number 16, Andre Ethier.
See, a lot of times you saw Torrealba got you a little bit too, where he set up inside. They'll do that because of the runner at second base particularly if it's a veteran player, because they can relay where the location is quickly to a hitter. They can look away for it. So when he rocked inside, everybody at home and us, I mean, thought about he's going inside, and then he just rocks out late at the last second.
Ethier hit a ground ball to third back in the second inning. 2 outs, bases loaded. Strike one at the knees.
There's what I was just talking about earlier. See, he was in here, and then he just rocked back out to that outside corner.
Ground ball slowly hit at Tulowitzki, and he's got him at first. What a job of pitching by Rodrigo Lopez. Second and third, nobody out, and nobody scores.
There, kitty, kitty. Here you go, girls.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes.
What's the matter, boy? No splashing.
Let's check the Affleck trivia question again as the Duck rides on by. Who hit the most home runs at Dodger Stadium their first year in 1962? George, got a guess?
Don Zimmer.
Tommy Davis. Wow, only 14.
Don Zimmer held the most home runs by a shortstop for a long time. He may still have it.
Frank Howard, big Frank Howard, hit only 13 that year. Matt Holliday will lead things off, then Brad Hopp and Troy Tulowitzki against Brett Topko. The Rockies looking for their first hit. The only base runner, Garrett Atkins, last inning with 2 outs, was hit in the upper torso with a pitch that tailed inside. And Matt swings and misses with his agent, the super agent Scott Boras, looking on. He represents Rodrigo Lopez also, and Jeff Baker. This ball driven to center field and deep. Going back, Pierre, he leaps off the top of the wall. Holliday into second with a double. Off the bat, I thought that was going to get on out of here. It is harder to hit the ball out at Dodger Stadium in the evening. The ball will travel better during day games here.
Particularly in right center and left center, the ball just does not carry as much as it will directly down the lines, and that's where this ball was. Pierre tried to time that leap to make a play on the ball. See his concentration, he knows he's about to hit. Just missed his glove, then came off of it. Tomko's reaction, he had a no-hitter going through that span, and first hit given up here in the 5th.
You can see Brad Hopp getting started, George, real early, trying to pull the baseball and at the very least move Matt Holliday to third base. Holliday at second with nobody out, 1-0 LA. They got their run in the first inning. Martin a single, a stolen base. Nomar Garcia-Parra a single to right.
His long swing allows him to catch a changeup that's going in that angle away from him because of his swing. That just misfire there. I mean, you know, they wanted the ball in the outer half of the plate, and they fired it in on the hands.
Outfield very deep for Hopp, particularly Ethier in right field. Top of inning number 5. And he beat him with a high fastball. So Brad Hopp's gone on 3 pitches. That is the 6th strikeout for Tomko.
Shortstop, Troy Tulowitzki.
Check another email while we have a quick moment. Omar writes, how much can a new hitting coach help a player like Brad Hopp cut down on his high strikeout totals? And the new hitting coach, Alan Cockrell.
Well, I think a lot. Only reason I say that is because Alan Cockrell has been around these guys for a while, and they know their swings a little bit, can go over things. So I think it's maybe not cut down on strike zones, but to help correct quicker, because he helped raise a lot of these guys at the minor league level. He's touched them. And whenever you have that rapport already built with these guys, that, you know, and Alan's been here before, but it was under kind of different circumstances, and now back, and as he said, much more prepared for the job. at the big league level. But you know, Brad's Brad. I mean, and everybody's got to understand that. He's going to go 2 weeks and not be able to hit air. And then he's going to hit everything in sight. And he's going to hit a lot of home runs.
He is streaky. And by the very nature, George, of his swing mechanics, I mean, he lifts and he's got some moving parts. Guys like that tend to be streaky. But you're right, when he's hot, look out. Tulowitzki takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Now, Tomko's fastballs ranged from 88 miles an hour upwards to 93 on a couple of occasions, but his location's been impeccable. I mean, it's down, it's in, and it's out. When he's had to ride up into the zone to get the fly ball, he did that to Tulowitzki earlier. Ride something up or spin something out of the zone, he's been able to do it.
Tulowitzki waits and fouls it back. Rockies trying to get a little offense from the bottom of the order. Braden in Woodland Park, Colorado. How good is Troy Tulowitzki and how effective will he be for the Rockies? Well, the Rockies think he's going to be outstanding. And there's quite a curve for a young player. Troy just 14 months in the minor leagues out of Long Beach State. Everybody in baseball who scouts think he's going to be an outstanding player, but all of a sudden you're dealing with the tremendous arm every night, something you didn't deal with in the minor leagues. Tulowitzki gone, and it'll be left to Yorvi Torrealba.
For the Rockies,
Matt Holliday continues to stand on second base. Another one of the top prospects we had a question last inning about. Ian Stewart so far this year is 2 for 8. As the Sky Sox season is underway. They're going to pitch to him with Lopez on deck, but they're going to be very careful. I mean, you have, with all due respect to Rodrigo, almost an automatic out in the on-deck circle.
I really don't understand this 2 outs. I mean, I understand wanting your pitcher to lead off the inning. I understand that maybe Tomko has been able to handle Torrealba. He struck him out in the 3rd. He's not even close with either one of these pitches right now.
Let's get, this goes back to something it seems like we talk about 3 times a week. If you're not going to
walking.
If you're not going to pitch to a guy, then just go ahead and throw 4 wide ones. And I bet you they do it now.
And while they're walking him, I'm going to go ahead and bet on it that it's Hebrew National Dollar Hot Dog Night, Wednesday, April 18th.
You never did get your Dodger dog last night,
I don't
did you?
want one either. 6:35 p.m. and the Los Angeles Dodgers are in town. Fans will receive a coupon for $1 hot dog. Purchase the tickets at any of the Rockies ticket outlets and online at the ColoradoRockies.com. I got a little echo over here. JR's got a little hot dog echo going over.
Well, listen, I did a little research.
Yeah.
Actually, I just read the LA Times today.
Right. So you didn't.
And you were not alone. They ran out of Dodger dogs in the 4th inning yesterday, which really irritated some people who were waiting online 45 minutes and longer to get the famous Dodger dog. I have one question. How can you run out of Dodger dogs on opening day? I know that George is a hot dog aficionado. Where does the Dodger dog rank in his mind? Ryan wants to know.
Well, Ryan, I'll just tell you it's number 3. Number 1 is Coney Islander in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Started in 1926. Own recipe. Little hot dogs. It's usually 6 chili cheese only, with a couple of bags of chips and a glass iced tea.
How many?
6. They're not that big.
What are you, that guy? You got to go to Coney Island for the contest.
And number 2 guy, the number 2 guy, they used to freeze dry them, send them to me to Wrigley Field.
Did they really?
Oh, they're great too. The second one is Skyline.
Did you thaw them out before you ate them?
Skyline, yeah, I think so. Skyline Chili in Cincinnati's pretty good. That's number 2.
Good swing there by Lopez. 1-2.
That guy, don't shake your head. It ain't that good. Come to Oklahoma, have a little Coney Island chili cheese. Come on, pal. She's looking at him and going, do I have to take a bite of this thing?
Now the ball gets loose. Lopez is still out at first. Good job by Russell Martin. That was an athletic play by Martin. Looked like he was chasing Lopez to first. He was just trying to get the baseball. Get your hot dogs. Get your Dodger dogs. They've resupplied the house. 1-0. All you can eat game ticket for 35 bucks, George. And then they went the thing out. Didn't they know I was reading that? What do you get for $35? All you can eat in the right field pavilion, George. You got to check that out.
I'll pass.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
Let's go to Denver, check in with Tim Ring. Tim, how many Dodger dogs you want me to bring home?
Hey, Drew, Matt Merton and the Astros trying to close out the Cubs at Wrigley. Chicago down 4-2, 2 on, 2 out, bottom 9, but Dan Wheeler pops it up. Cubs lose again, 4-2 the final.
All right, Tim, thanks very much. Tim hanging out tonight at the Chevy Sports Desk. 1-0 Dodgers. What a great job by Rodrigo Lopez, George, wiggling out of that jam in the 4th inning. Second and third, nobody out. He gets Kent to ground out. He walks Gonzalez intentionally, gets a shallow fly ball from Valdez, and then a weak ground ball to short by Andre Ethier.
Both guys really, but Lopez, I like the job he pulled off there. Now you're going to have to deal with the bottom side of this thing, and you know what? Tomko's in the on-deck circle. I'm really surprised by this a little bit.
I'm not based on what he's done so far. He struck out 8 and allowed 1 hit in 5 innings. Tough to take that guy out.
But you also got to want to have him in 5 days from now, and not pitching since spring training to come up sore where maybe he can't make that start in 4 days. That's the concern for you.
Changeup, a strike to Wilson Betterment. Betterment walked his first time up. The only walk allowed by Rodrigo Lopez this year. And this is at Kaz Matsui. 1 out.
The 9th ground out by a Dodger against Lopez tonight. He has 1 fly out, a strikeout, and then the pick off at first base. It's been pretty special.
And the base hit by Garcia Parra that knocked in a run was really a ground ball to the right side, just out of the reach of Kaz Matsui.
I wish we could call it an out.
We can't, can we?
No, but I wish we could.
Tomko takes a quick strike.
By the way, it gives me an opportunity very quickly, Drew, to tell the Rockies fans to help support Children's Hospital and the Prater-Willi Syndrome Association. Pledge what you can for every Rockies win in the 07 season, or make a one-time donation to the Wins for Kids campaign. Brought to you by the Rockies and FSN Rocky Mountain. Go to ColoradoRockies.com to make your donation. Pledge cards can be picked up also around Coors Field.
Slider for a strike. It's 1-2 on Tomko. Tomko was drafted by the Dodgers once. He didn't sign, and then he was drafted the next year by the Reds and signed with the Reds. Strike 3 on Brett Tomko. Second strikeout of the ballgame. Both strikeouts of Tomko for Lopez. Look at that play by Todd Helton against Juan Pierre, his first time up. It is our Valero energy to take you anywhere play of the game. That took 2 or 3 bags away from Juan Pierre.
Yeah, you mentioned Tomko being drafted the 20th round by the Dodgers out of high school. 2nd round. It just shows you when he matured and got a little more fastball and figured things out a little bit. His draft moved up 18 spots too, and 18 spots of money.
So a good decision not to sign the first
for
time
some
around.
Kids it is, some kids it's not. I mean, and I think that a lot of times those are tough decisions, and it's something within the kid's heart. You know, if this is something he wants to go do it.
And Juan Pierre was a 13th round pick of the Rockies out of the University of South Alabama.
Well, you and I talk an awful lot about this. Well, may not hang up long enough, it won't. Talk an awful lot about this. That's scouting. I mean, you get a guy in the 13th through 20th round that make it to the big leagues, you've uncovered something. I mean, Roy Oswald's one of those guys, Jake Peavy, another guy that drafted late, developed, and ends up in the big leagues and a big winner and an all-star.
I got something for you, George. Juan Pierre, since 2001, the start of the 01 season, there's only one player in the game that has more hits than Pierre, and that's Ichiro. In terms of stolen bases since the beginning of the 01 season, Juan Pierre is way out in front. He is in front of Ichiro in that department by 85 stolen bases.
Wow.
You wouldn't have thought it was that many.
No, I wouldn't have.
Lopez got to try to keep him fairly close, but he wants to get Martin at the plate, and then you don't have to worry about what Pierre does. You got Garcia-Parra behind Martin. Martin and Nomar have done all the damage, 4 of the 5 hits. There goes Pierre on a pitch out. Torrealba's throw is in time, out at second base. Good throw by Yorvi Torrealba, erasing Juan Pierre. 5 innings complete at Dodger Stadium. There's been but 1 run. The Dodgers have it.
This is on FSN Baseball Report, Friday at 6.
Grady Little was hoping to get 4 or 5 out of Brett Tomko in his first start of the year. Here he is in the 6th inning, and what a gem he has thrown. 1 hit allowed, a double by Matt Holliday off the center field wall. He has struck out 8 in 5 innings. And he'll see the top of the order once again. Willie Taveras, Kaz Matsui, and Garrett Atkins in the top of the 6th. Drew Goodman, George Frazier on a pretty night in Southern California. Rockies won 6-3 yesterday to snap the Dodgers' 4-game winning streak. One behind Jeff Francis, who's now 31-25 in his career.
A chance now maybe to lay a bunt down, test the defense of Betterman. Also Garcia-Parra, see what Tomko can do to get off the mound. Top of the order, create some movement. Try to get on the bases any way that you can.
Ryan in Littleton wants to know how long before the Rockies pull up Corey Sullivan to put some pressure on Willie Taveras. Folks, it's very early in the season. Willie Taveras is a .284 career hitter in his first 2 years in the big leagues. He will swing the bat better than he has. And not only that, before Corey Sullivan is Steve Finley. I mean, Steve Finley has 18 years in the big leagues, pretty good player. 300+ home runs, 300+ stolen bases.
And we understand that, you know, you're a fan favorite. Corey Sullivan here for 2 years, and you know that's nice that you do care about Corey, that you want to know how he's doing. And to be honest with you, he only played 2 games down there in AAA because of the snow and cold weather.
Well, that's the kind of depth the Rockies have created, that a guy who's a legitimate big leaguer in Corey Sullivan right now, toiling in AAA. Here's the 2-2. Fastball cuts away. It's 3-2. See if the Rockies can get Willie on, utilize the wheels. Really battling back. He's been 0-2, at least initially, in every at bat tonight. Missed, and Taveras jogs to first. There's action in the bullpen, George.
Rockies fans want to know how you can change a kid's life. Become a sports buddy. Learn more at denversportsbuddies.com and visit Freeway Ford at I-25 in Evans, where a loaded 05 Explorer is just $15,900. Become a sports buddy and change a kid's life.
Chad Billingsley is throwing down there. He lost the battle with Tomko for the number 5 spot in the rotation. It would not surprise me before this year's over, and it's not a knock on Brett Tomko, but you know, with injuries and everything else, Billingsley will probably end up starting at some point.
Well, their rotation, their first 4 young. Now the only guy really that's missed time has been Brad Penning. Back will flare up, maybe a shoulder.
Schmidt seems to miss 3 or 4 a year. Let's watch Taveras at first. No movement, and that's a strike. This is where a 2-hole hitter really has to be patient.
Patient, force him to throw a strike, force the situation where a catcher has to hold the ball longer into the crouch to get the pitch called a strike.
They pitch out 1-1. Martin's throwing the ball well this year. He has cut down 3 of 5 would-be base stealers. Last year he cut down 26%. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Got a beach ball out in right center field.
Imagine that at Dodger Stadium.
Jeff Kent had a funny line yesterday. He said, I don't know why they don't show on TV that fan running on the field getting tackled. He said it would have been more entertaining watching that than me swing the bat yesterday. He was leaning. Taveras gets back. Pitches thrown in the ball game for Tomko. Willie takes off. They pitch out again. Throw to second is in plenty of time. So Taveras goes on a 1-2 pitch and he's erased.
Tomko increased his slide step to the plate, got rid of the ball in a hurry. Then that exchange by Martin, the ball tailed away, but it beat Willie there by enough. It allowed them to apply the tag. I mean, this is a pretty good catch and throw by Martin behind the plate. The Rockies pitch out, get Pierre. Jamie Quirk talking about watching the catcher even when you're taking your lead at first base. Glance back and see if you can see him start to step out far enough, and you can hold that up at times.
Jamie Quirk talking to Taveras. This ball pulled into the seats foul. Change up, and that is the 9th strikeout for Tomko. Boy, has he ever been good.
It's been outstanding, and Rockies have managed 1 hit in this ballgame, the double by Matt Holliday, and after he gave up that double, he struck out Hop, Tulowitzki, walked over Torrealba, and then struck out Lopez. That happened in the 5th.
Ball 1 on Garrett Atkins. It's one big fraternity, this baseball game. And Glenn Allen Hill, when he was an A-ball, George, you know who his manager was?
Let me guess, Rich Donnelly or Clint Hurdle?
Grady Little.
Grady Little.
Grady was saying before the ball game, I got to get over and say hello to Glenn Allen, because he played for me when I was managing back in A-ball.
Well, I guess Glenn Allen didn't like him too much, or he'd have come over and said hi to the manager of the Dodgers.
You know, everybody likes Grady Little, with the exception of some ownership in Boston, I guess, right?
Yeah, probably a few fans too, huh?
Yeah. But in all honesty, he's, as you know, a very likable guy.
He's a great baseball guy. Been in the game a long, long time.
Jeff Houston played for Grady Little, I believe, or actually scattered with Grady Little a couple of years ago. Did a little instructor work. Jeff will straighten me out. And Huey, I know you're listening. He's got the post-game show later. Grady sends his best. So Garrett Atkins goes to first with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Helton.
Tom
cut out.
Yeah, 90 pitches right now. I mean, that's a bunch. I mean, he's in the 6th inning right now, and at 90 pitches, 57 strikes, 3 walks in this ball game. Matter of fact, 3 of the last 5 batters have been walked. One of those intentional.
Well, you're going to have a higher pitch count when you strike out a bunch, and he has struck out 9 in the ball game. Is that the real good fastball, George? He's had everything working. The change up.
Yeah, the location. Just look at everything. You know, when you have nasty stuff, you can blow it by people at times. That little cutter down and away. Here's the breaking ball, man. That's Lopez. And then he threw that changeup to get Matsui for that strikeout. Helton fly deep to dead center field in his last at bat on a ball out over the plate.
And this ball driven high in the air to deep right center field, but playable for Andre Ethier. Again, Helton gives it a ride. Again, the Rockies leave a man on base. Atkins left at first base. Middle of 6, 1-0 Los Angeles. One nothing, bottom of the 6th inning. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Russell Martin will lead things off. He was at the plate when Juan Pierre was cut down trying to steal second base in the 5th. They gave away a rally towel tonight. First 20,000 fans. See some waving right now. Dodger Stadium, George, they have more promotions than any team in baseball. It's like going to a minor league game.
Well, it is. It's always been that way. The bobbleheads, the hats. They have cap day about 3 or 4 times. They used to have bat day. That got ended. Ball day. That got ended. You know where the rally towel started, don't you, Drew?
Pittsburgh with the Steelers.
No. In
Brad Hoffman foul
baseball.
territory.
In baseball, where'd they get started?
I don't know. Bill Veeck, I'm going to guess.
No. Minnesota Twins, 1987.
When you were there.
For the Dodgers, first baseman, number 5, Nomar Garcia.
Yeah, you were in grade school.
87. 87. I was 2 years out of college.
Oh, okay.
Here is Anthony Garcia Parra. Nomar's actually a nickname. Do you know that?
No, I did not.
Ball 1. Nomar a single and a double in the ball game. He's driven in the only run. That came in the 1st inning. He turns on this and drives it high and deep and foul. Nomar, quite an athlete. He could have played Division I soccer, and for a while he was on the Georgia Tech football team as a kicker for a short period of time. This ball pulled to short on the backhand. Tulowitzki will throw him out. What a strong arm Troy has. Let's send it back to Tim Ring again at the Chevy Sports Desk for a game update.
Hey, Drew, the Angels and Indians today in Milwaukee. That's right, you heard me, Milwaukee. For the Indians, Casey Blake, a home run off of Irving Santana. The Milwaukee Indians, at least on this day, win at 7-6.
I've never seen that happen, thanks, Tim, in baseball, George. I mean, they could have lost 7 ball games with all that snow in Cleveland. That's why, you know, the commissioner moved those ball games to Milwaukee at Dome Stadium. Milwaukee was out of town.
Well, they try to move them to the closest area. I mean,
Sure.
for people from Cleveland to try to get there. I guess Detroit might have been close. But it's an outdoor stadium. You're dealing with the weather. I mean, Minneapolis, another spot they could have gone to. Twins are at home, though. So, I mean, you know, you had to find some place that's empty, that's a dome that they could play in. I laughed. I said, when you went to Milwaukee, I thought, well, Bud, before he sold the ball club, must have fixed the roof. Remember that rain day, that rain that came in that time? The whole right field line, the whole right field area was just getting poured on by the fans. I mean, that dome was not sealed very tightly whenever you closed it.
And the The commissioner made every ticket $10, and they sold 4,000 for each of the first 2 ball games. The day game, they sold 2,000 initially. You know, so a National League city, former American League city actually, gets to see a couple of teams they wouldn't ordinarily see. This ball driven high in the air to right field. Brad Hopp over in the corner will make the catch, and Rodrigo Lopez has a 1-2-3 6th. We move to the 7th inning. This game rolling right along. 1-0 LA. Rockies trying to get the offense going with the bright lights of the big city in the distance. Highlight show is here. It's been here for a while. The FSN Final Score. It's the only national show that gives you nothing but wall-to-wall highlights. The FSN Final Score tonight at 11:30 on FSN Rocky Mountain.
Hey, how about this number right here? Rodrigo Lopez back in the 4th took 20 pitches to get to a bases-loaded 1-out deal. And then here in the 5th and 6th inning, it only took him 17 pitches to get through those 2 innings.
Now Chad Billingsley takes over, and so far this year, the opposition has hit him pretty well.
They have hit him well. 3 innings. A home run given up in those 3 innings. That's why he's got the high earned run average. This kid's just more suitable to being in the starting rotation. He was probably, or not probably, was and is the #1 pitching prospect for this organization at the minor league level. Good fastball. I mean, it'll jump up at you 90 to 94 miles an hour. Slider right over the top hook. Hey, by the way, fans 55 and older, join the Silver Slugger Senior Fan Club for $79. Get 2 shaded field level seats for 6 games throughout the seasons, gifts, contests, and a whole lot more. 303 Rockies for more information.
0-2 on Matt. Let's take a look at our Esurance Inside information. Matt, 12 home runs since September 1st of 06, second in baseball behind Frank Thomas. And well, now A-Rod has 13, second with Frank Thomas, I should say. A-Rod is 13. A-Rod's hitting him every day, and he can actually go out to eat now in New York and not get booed in a restaurant.
Stop it.
I'm just passing along
like one or
information.
you know, that's what you read in the New York Post.
And where did I get that New York Post?
From me. Why did I read the New York Post?
For the obits. Actually, for the police blotter.
That's right. There's always some action going on in New York, folks.
Folks, a great lunchtime activity for Frazier while he has a Dodger dog is to read the New York Post police blotter.
Or go to a great trial that's going on in town. Yeah, that's the other one I like.
Here's the 2-2. And swung on and missed. So Billingsley strikes out the 10th Rocky of the night. Colorado with just 1 hit. Now is a Matt Holliday double off the center field wall. And now Brad Hopp will take his turn against Billingsley. First round pick in the 03 draft of the Dodgers, right out of high school. Below the knees, ball 1. His second year of pro ball, he was the minor league pitcher of the year in the Dodgers organization. This ball hammered to deep left field. It's got a chance way back and off the wall. Hop to second, and he goes halfway and then comes back. So a 1-out double. Brad with the low fence there, George, about 2 feet away from trotting around the bases with a home run.
Yeah, he thought about it. I mean, I thought off of the bat it might have had that chance. Hop continues to tear up Dodger Stadium. This pitch not that bad from Billingsley. Down and away and low. Hop opposite field, right there, a foot shy of getting out of the yard. And as Gonzalez chased it down, Hop had thoughts.
Rockies tonight 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. 3 strikeouts. Tulowitzki with his second chance tonight.
Folks, watch where this ball's tracking to here. Here's Gonzalez chasing it. I mean, it literally freeze it right there and hold it a minute. It was like right up there. I mean, it was close.
Billingsley bluffs the throw, and he get Hop close. Fly out in center field and a strikeout for Tulowitzki. Breaking pitch out of the strike zone. Ground ball to third. Betterment up with it. And he throws out Tulowitzki. Check an email very quickly from Pete in Longmont, Colorado. He wants to know if Troy Tulowitzki and Chris Iannetta are eligible for Rookie of the Year this year. They are. They didn't have enough at bats last year. Jeff Baker's also a rookie for the Rockies. Well, same situation the last time Yorvi Torrealba came up. And Grady Little's going to come out and talk to Billingsley. You would assume they'd walk him again and four, but you know, here's a little different situation, because then you make Clint Hurdle make a decision. They have 2 hits, the Rockies do. If they walk Torrealba, do you pull Lopez, who's pitched well, and take a shot here in the 7th with a pinch hitter? You almost have to.
You have to, yeah. I mean, that's
inning.
Yeah, you don't mess around with that. I mean, if this is something they're going to do, I mean, you got to go right at the guy. They just want to make sure they know what they're doing when they go at Torrealba. You know what? You can force it, though, obviously. If they'd like to get Lopez out of there, I mean, Bake's got the helmet and the bat ready to go in the on-deck circle, or I should say in the dugout.
Think about that. That's a nod to how hot he is, because you have a right-hander out there. Beimel's warming up in the bullpen. You have Mabry and Finley on your bench also. Ball 1 on Torrealba. Down low, 2-0. Young Kim throwing in the Rockies bullpen. He hasn't worked in a few days. On the corner, barely, at 93. This was not well received by Martin. Watch his glove. It looks like it's off the plate there. Yeah, I thought the glove ran out of the strike zone. And that's on the inside corner.
At 90 miles an hour, it almost looked like a cutter. You know, and I tell you, you can read his lips right there. He looked at Dale Scott and he said, "You're not going to give him both sides of the plate now. You can either give him the outside or the inside, but you just now gave him both sides, inside and out. That makes it hard to hit."
He also said, "No way." Three and 2.
Better pitch than the one that was called a strike.
Lopez is in the on-deck circle for the moment. But if Torrealba reaches, he will not hit. Back up the middle, base hit. Hop around third. He will score the equalizer. Great at bat for Yorvi Torrealba. He comes through with an RBI single, and it's all even at 1 in the 7th.
But everything that Tomko did just went right out the window. 1 hit, 9 strikeouts. Billingsley gives up a couple of hits here in the 7th and allows the Rockies scoring runs beyond the 6th inning. Tied this ball game up, and it was the bottom of the lineup that did it. Jeff Baker, as a pinch hitter, 3 for 3 so far this year.
So Jeff Baker 3 for 4 yesterday, hitting .700. That misses ball 1. And the 3 outs he has made. A hard smash up the middle that was gloved by the pitcher. A drive to the gap in right center that Brian Giles tracked down, and a sharp ground ball to third. 2-0.
Well, Billingsley and Baker have seen each other over the course of Billingsley's climb, obviously in AAA, and Baker being in AAA. Maybe why Clint went to him versus Mabry or Finley, their left-handed hitter, plus of the being the hot bat as a pinch hitter.
Not close. It's 3-0 on Baker. You cut him loose, George?
Absolutely, you cut him loose. You sent him up there to swing the bat. He's a guy that could change the name of this game in a heartbeat with one swing out of the yard.
Pitcher's pitch there, right on the black. 3-1. 1-1, top of 7. That swing right there by Jeff Baker, George, the first time this year he has swung and missed.
Duplicated the pitch from Billingsley. It was right on the outside corner. Going to go out there again.
Swung on and missed. Billingsley gets the fastball past Jeff Baker, but Yorvi Torrealba, with just the third hit of the night for the Rockies, drives in Brad Hopp, who had doubled to even the score at 1. That's where we stand. Stretch time in LA. Check out Tracy Ringlesby's column on the Rockies in Major League Baseball in the Rocky Mountain News. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Luis Gonzalez will lead it off, and Byung Young Kim, Gonzo's former teammate, will take over for the Rockies in the bottom of the 7th. Just the second appearance for BK this season. Today's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Call 1-800-COMCAST for unlimited local and long distance. Fastball's down low, ball 1. BK, a year ago, 27 games as a starter. Good against right-handed bats, not so good against lefties, George.
No, it hasn't been. He's going to induce the ground ball here, too. It's been a while since he was in a game. He actually picked up a win in his first outing this year. He gave up a run, and the Rockies able to come back and win the ball game.
Rodrigo Lopez keeps the streak alive, George.
Shortstop.
He goes 6 innings, allows only 1 run, so that is 8 straight ball games out of the gate that the Rockies have gotten their starting pitcher through at least 6 innings, and it's 7 in a row that the starter has given up 2 runs or less.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. They talked about the starting pitching. How successful would it be? And again, they've pounded the strike zone. That's why I think they've been successful. They just don't walk guys.
Good pitch. And the pickup by Tulowitzki, very impressive at both ends. Troy, and then the pickup at first base by Todd Helton. Jonathan Broxton,
Right fielder, number 16.
big man with the big fastballs, tossing in the Dodger pen. Look at this pickup.
Yeah, you got to circle around it, and then that strong arm of Tulowitzki. Anytime you flip it like that, you might have a tendency to have a little sink action on the end of it. And with Todd Helton's glove at first, very comforting to the youngster Tulowitzki at shortstop. Matsui or Atkins, Gold Glove guy.
Ball 1 on Andre Ethier. He's a guy you got to be careful with. He's got gap power, occasional home run power. One of the better rookies in the National League last season, and he was terrific at Dodger Stadium. He hit .337 at Dodger Stadium last year.
I think one thing Kim's got to do, get out of that area in there, and the only reason why, see how that ball ran back? I mean, it starts, in the middle of the plate and it runs back, and I just think that when you do that, You get it out over the middle of the plate too much, and for a guy that throws underarm, you know, sidearm, you're going to have a natural turn back to the center of the plate anyway.
We've seen this with Kim before, George. In his last outing, when he gave up that run, he mowed down the first two very quickly, and then it's almost like he loses focus. 3-1 here on Ethier. How about this tonight? The top three hitters in the Dodgers order, 5 for 9. That's Pierre, Martin, and Garcia-Parra. The rest of the order, 0 for 13. Here's the payoff pitch to Andre Ethier. 2 outs, nobody on. Pretty good slider, and he fouled it off into the Rockies dugout. Ethier last year hit .308, which was the 3rd best rookie average in the National League. It led the Dodgers. And a ground ball to Kaz Matsui. Well done by Byung-Hyun Kim. 7 chapters closed in Los Angeles. The Rockies won, the Dodgers won. Top of the 8th inning, top of the order for the Rockies against Chad Billingsley. Drew Goodman, George Frazier from Dodger Stadium. We're tied at 1. Fastball on the inside corner for a strike. Why don't you just go ahead and give him an 0-2 count? Because every time tonight, it's been 0-2 on Willett. Worked out a walk his last time up. Curveball misses, and the trend stops right there. 1-1. Billingsley, he just did get him. And I'll tell you what, George, if he didn't have a 95-mile-an-hour fastball headed toward Nomar, he beats it out. And that wasn't a real good bunt. I mean, he was basically bunted right back to him, and he still almost beat it.
Yeah, it was. Well, he wound up. Too much of a crow harp. I mean, you got to get rid of this baseball in a hurry. Nomar just picks it. It's a good call by Gachon at first base. But it's a hard sinker picked out of the ground by Nomar that saves that from being a base hit.
Matsui's 0 for 3. Ground ball to short, fly ball center field, and a strikeout. And Kaz shortened up as if to bunt. Rafael Furcal in his rehab assignment, 0 for 3 and a walk as the DH in that A-ball game. He was running around pretty well yesterday. Probably be back in uniform with the Dodgers this weekend off the DL. 1-2. Here's the 2-2 to Matsui. Line drive, left field, fair ball. Get in the corner. It will. And this could be 3 bags. Well, it'll be 2. Luis Gonzalez did a good job getting it before it rattled around in there. Gonzo obviously does not throw well. So a 1-out double for Matsui. And the Rockies with a great opportunity now to take the lead. Right guys coming up in Atkins and Helton.
Yeah, and Beimel's warming up down in the bullpen to come in and get Helton more than likely. When that ball started to spin, folks, if it gets up against that wall a little bit farther, it's going to run like a rabbit. I mean, it's just going to hug up against that wall and get into the outfield. But a nice job by Gonzalez to get over, cut that ball off, and to also keep Matsui at second base. So now with 1 out, really your RBI guys, Atkins, Helton, and Holiday, a chance to put the Rockies on top. This is where, when you're down in that bullpen right now, you're thinking Clint Hurdle, if I get a lead, I'm going to run Corpus out there in the 8 or Hawkins, and then you can hand the ball off to Fuentes.
Dale Scott's going to break up the meeting at the mound. Let's take a look at our in-game box brought to you by Quest Spirit of Service. Matsui's 1 for 4 now with that double. Atkins has been on a couple of times. Helton's 0 for 3. First hit of the ball game was Matt Holliday with a double off the center field wall in the 5th. Hop has a double. He has scored the only run for Colorado. Rockies with just 4 hits. Fastball down and in, ball 1. Atkins drove in his first 3 runs of the season yesterday with a home run and a couple of sac flies. Curveball, and that's outside. 2-0. So a fastball count here for Atkins.
Tomko had thrown nearly 75% strikes. Billingsley just 53%. That's not very good. You'd like that number to be between the 65 and 75%.
Ball 3 on Atkins.
That's, basically, when you're a young pitcher like this, you're trying to rear back and fire, but I think, too, you're thinking in your mind a little bit, you know what, I know I'm not going to face Helton. This is my last guy. So and you start to overthrow the baseball.
That's off the plate. So Atkins walks again. They're now 2 on for Todd Helton. And here comes Grady Little. He'll go get Billingsley and bring in the left-hander Beimel. One game in the 8th. We will come back to Dodger Stadium on a Tuesday night. Beimel to face Helton. Rockies trying to take a late lead. Tied at 1, first and second, 1 out. Joe Beimel to face Todd Helton. Tonight's call to the bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Call 1-800-COMCAST for unlimited local and long distance. Beimel came in, faced Helton yesterday. Helton is a pinch hitter, and Todd grounded to first. Fourth appearance for Joe Beimel this year.
Overall, Beimel has pitched in 3 games, 270 earned run average, 3 1/3 innings, 2 strikeouts, opposition at 300. He's their left-handed specialist. I mean, the right-hander, the other left-hander out of the bullpen, Hendrickson's more of a long guy to eat up innings.
And he's not available anyhow tonight. Todd 4 for 9 against Beimel in his career. And it's 2-0. Two starting pitchers tonight. Outstanding. Brett Tomko with 6 innings of shutout baseball, allowed 1 hit and struck out 9. Rodrigo Lopez allowed 1 run in 6 innings. 5 hits. Struck out 2, walked 2, 1 intentionally. 3-0 with Matt Holliday on deck.
Now Broxton's warming up down in the bullpen for Holliday.
This is 1 and out for Beimel, you would assume.
Well, I would think so. You're not going to leave him in there to face Holliday.
That's where what Clint Hurdle's done this year, George, really pays off, where you don't have the lefties back-to-back, Helton and Hop. They're split up with Matt Holliday, who was the cleanup hitter last year in the 5-hole. And then you have Hop in the 6-hole. Here's the 3-0. Todd takes a look at it. It's in the strike zone.
The velocity that has been shown to Todd Helton in this at bat has ranged from not a whole lot of difference. 86, 87 miles an hour.
All of that brought to you by Panasonic. Ball 4, and now they're loaded up for Matt Holliday. Well, the Rockies have a great opportunity here.
Holliday.
You
know, Martin's not going out to slow things down at all. Grady Little is not making a move.
No, they're going to let him stay with it. That just tells me Broxton is your guy if they get a lead. Well, Hop's in the on-deck circle, but the ball game's now. I mean, you know, that's the way I look at it. The ball game is right now.
And this is slowly hit. They're going to get 1 at the plate and double play at first. Wow.
Brady,
1, 2, 3.
Brady knew something we didn't know, huh?
I guess so. And Beimel works out of it. Tremendous opportunity for the Rockies. And it doesn't pan out.
bases on FSN Baseball Report. Friday at 6.
Wilson Betterman leading off. Rockies blow a golden opportunity. Matt Holliday just, George, quite frankly, looked to be a little over anxious.
Well, I think he felt like he got a pitch right out there that he could handle, but that ball was on the knees and diving. You know, a hard sinker. Beimel got what he wanted. Matt Holliday did not.
Two 2-0 on Betterman. Here's the pitch, George.
And everything's moving down into the strike zone, and you know, there it is, that hard sinker down and away from Matt Holliday. Looks up, and Beimel had to make a nice play. So did Russell Martin, and they did. I mean, that's, you know, you just saw 4 pitches, or 4 out of 5, a ball to Todd Helton. Then attacking that first pitch. Easy to sit up here and say something, you know, why didn't you wait longer? I guess he must have liked what he saw. It just didn't turn out the results he needed.
2-2, slider down low, 3-2. Betterman. And then we'll see a pinch hitter. Marlon Anderson, veteran pinch hitters on deck. Ball 4. Something Young Kim has battled his whole career. His command comes and goes, and he walks the leadoff man.
Looks like Affelt and Ramirez both warming up down in the bullpen.
Marlon Anderson.
Marlon Anderson, like Juan Pierre, played college baseball at the University of South Alabama. And he takes a strike. Anderson, very well thought of, George, as you know, throughout the game in this role.
Did a heck of a job for this club a year ago. When they picked him up, he just tore the cover off the baseball. Those kind of at-bats with Matt Holliday, I mean, his gut's just churning right now. You know, he realizes that's his spot to excel and put this ball club up. And guarantee you right now, it's just, it's grabbing, man. He is, outwardly, you're not seeing a lot of bitterness right now, but I can tell you on the inside right now, that's not a happy man.
No, it's tough, and you're going to come up, in Matt's case, 650 times a season. You can't always come through. Here's the 1-1 in the air to center field. Easy play for Willie Taveras. Well, the Rockies, George, have played close games just about every day or night so far in the 07 season. Game 1, they were up 6-5. They ended up losing 8-6. They won 4-3. In game 2, 4-3 in game 4, and actually game 3 was pretty close till they blew it wide open.